Brian. No, we're going to record it. Oh, good. Oh, NBC will be calling me anytime. I got a Grammy for my last show doing this, so hopefully this time we, I don't know, what's better than a Grammy? Nothing. Okay, good. All right, so we're going to start with a little. Oh, it wasn't on. It wasn't on. Now you guys can hear me. It's a very touchy microphone. It turns off by itself. All right. I'm going to start off with some music. This instrument is incredible, but it doesn't matter. It's one of the signature styles on it. It's called New York Swing. And it's so exciting because whenever I want to open up with a number and I see a rhythm that goes with the song that I want to play, it makes it even more exciting. So you all know New York, New York. That's the song. And I'm going to play the intro for you. And then I'm going to stop playing the intro and I'm going to let the instrument do the work. So please enjoy New York, New York.
Nice.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for being on, and for the staff members. I hope that your students are on. How we doing there? Give it a round of applause, everybody. The Lowry Legend, legend. You know what that means? That means if you have another organ, it's really great, but it's not a legend. This is a legendary organ, right? It's a legendary instrument. And I tell you what, there's so many things. So this is the first, Brian, if you don't mind showing the cabinet here. We're going to talk a little bit about this organ. This is a Lowry Legend, and it's a long instrument, a little bit bigger. But the beauty of it is the reason they made it like this is so you could have so many options. First option is you can roll down the top. For those of you who like to dust the keyboard, you don't have to do that anymore. It has a roll top, has lights all the way across it. It has all the features of a window organ, so whenever I touch in the screen, it's a touch window. And of course, we have the pull out. And as soon as I pull it out, there's a light across here. So I can just make this happen right here. And now we have music that's closer to your face. You see, here's the thing. Lowry decided that they would make organs, and they would make them based on customer surveys. So a lot of people, a lot of students, we call them students, Lowry calls them customers, a lot of them said, I'd like to have something that pulls out. So they did. They made something that pulls all the way out. It shows your music, but it doesn't have any lights. Well, this one, as soon as you pull it out, as you can see my hand, we have lights. Now, I don't use that for music because I have everything memorized today, so we're going to put this away. And it's this easy. You just put it away, and as soon as you do, the lights come back up on your music screen. This is the Lowrey Legend, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm so happy that you're here, and I hope that the people that were supposed to be on are on. Brian, you're doing a great job. This is the Weight Watchers. This is a Weight Watchers view. I'll sit back down. It's fine. All right. So anyway, I hope you're having a good time. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is very simple. I got to look at my notes. But to be honest, this is the easiest instrument to demonstrate. And the reason is the touch screen. You know, we have a window. If you don't mind there, Brian, we're going to get a Brian, by the way, in case you didn't know, Brian is he's my camera extraordinaire. So whenever you look at the touch screen up here, I can touch things. And there's one of the things in there, if you want to zoom in, if you don't mind, on the organ here, right here, where my finger is at. On the touchscreen, we have an option called Style List. That's a great thing. Every single style I want. Now, because I have it on the TV, we can look. But it's an alphabetical order. It starts with numbers. In case you didn't know, alphabetical order starts with numbers. And then it goes to A and then B. And I see all of the styles. There's bagpipes, 50s love songs, a few Patriots, Baroque. Keep on moving here. We got some good stuff, disco, doo-wop. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The thing is that now you can go into your screen. And Brian, if you would, I tell you what, if we show the screen up there, there's an option called keypad. And if you have an SU model, what's that over there? Show that one over there, Brian. Right over here. We're moving along here. This is an SU. If you have square buttons, come on over here, Brian, there you go. You see how the buttons are square? We still had a touch screen, but it wasn't colored, and it also wasn't directed towards different things because the memory back then only could do so much. Today, if you come over to the first A series, this was one of the top of the line organ because they came out with many different things. First of all, if you can, Brian, get right here on the screen. The first thing you notice is color. There's a lot of color in the screen. And then right here, if you want to show the big screen up above, I have a keypad. And for all of you who have an SU model, you have numbers. So if you want to play piano, it's 001. If you want to play bagpipes, it's 0036. If you want to play the accordion, it's 113. You know, you have to know the numbers. Well, now we have a feature called alphabet. And as you can see on the screen, they go to numbers, or letters. And on the red buttons, you have two options, song setup and style setup. So let's say I want to play a song called Amazing Grace. Well, I can go to A, and then song setup.
Yeah. I just have timeless.
Are we doing okay? All right. And you can see all I ask of you. Oh, that's Phantom of the Opera. All I want is my two front teeth. That's not Phantom of the Opera. All of me, all the things you are. Alley Cat, Aloha. When I touch on Aloha, everything in the organ sets up. Every single feature sets up. So you can play the song, which I really don't want to play this, but since I did Aloha, I can play it with one finger. Great. Let's say you want to play a song called, well, this is easy. It's in the A, so it's right there. But let's say you want to play a song called, oh boy, let's do a song called, what's a great song? Brian, you have a good song you can name? Alley Cat. Well, that also starts with an A. So let's think of something else. Yeah, Misty. Misty. Oh, okay, that's a great, Brian, that's a great song. He's my host. If you guys are clapping, I can't hear you, but go ahead and give it up for Mr. Brian over here. He's my co-host. And without him, I wouldn't win all these Grammy awards. I'm just kidding. But I'm so happy you're on. We're going to do Misty. So with a screen like this, it's very simple. Brian, if you want to come up here or look up there, I can touch keypad, go to alphabet. Misty starts with the letter M. So there it is on the letter M. And then I just go to song setup, and it goes to all the M. Mac the Knife, Making Whoopee, Mame, Marie, Matchmaker, Mickey Mouse, Misty. There it is, Misty. And so it's very easy. You can just shift to the letter that you want for your style. Your song setup. So Misty sounds like this. Many of you use song setup, and I think it's a great feature. And some of you don't understand what a great feature it is to have an alphabet setting. I just showed the alphabet, and it can be used for so many things. Let's say if you're looking for the instrument called cello. Well, that starts with a C. So you just type in C, go to the instruments, and cello pops up because you typed in C. Versus having to go all the way through the alphabet. So the other thing about the Legend, this is a Lowrey Legend. The Legend stretches all the way across, has a roll top, it has a lot of great features as a cabinet. So we have students who come in and say, I don't really have room for that, so we have other instruments that we show them that are smaller. But this one is a bigger model. But the thing I love most about it is the cabinetry. So it uses real wood for all of the cabinet, right? And it's a beautiful instrument. And you can get this in oak or mahogany with a roll top. But another thing is this is the first A series that's a touchscreen model. That means an A series is the Sterling, Patriot, the Liberty pulled a lot of things off of them, but the very first one that came out ever was called the Legend. We sold out of these things. The first time we ever showcased this model, we sold out of these. And it's because we had features and technology, which we call memory, in the instrument, where you could go to keypad and type in a letter, and it pops up what you want. You can go to the keypad, type in a number, it pops in what you want. I tell you what, there's another feature, Brian, I love the most. And there's not only one, but there's two keyboards. So we have two keyboards, and then if you know about the split, we have three keyboards. So we have chords and keyboard and the whole keyboard. But on this model, it was the first one ever that came out with the Virtuoso. listen to that. So I'm going to talk about the Virtuoso for about, I'll give myself 7 minutes or so to tell you how great it is. So if you're with me, hey Brian, would you mind unmuting everybody? I'd love to hear everybody talk. Hello everyone, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello. Oh, hello. Okay, so everybody say this, we're going to do a little sound effect. Everybody go blip.
Blip.
Perfect. One person. Myra, thank you. All right, so it's what we're going to do. All day, all night, Mary Ann.
All day, all night.
No.
Mary Ann.
That's where you go blip. All day,
blip.
all night, Mary Ann. Blip. So if you have a Virtuoso, you can use it right there. All day, all night, Mary Ann. Blip. Girl from Ipanema. Tall and tan and love and lonely. Girl from Ipanema. Go right. Blip. So you use your Virtuoso. You can use it anytime. You've seen me using it a couple times here, and that's a great feature. So Brian, if you don't mind, take this little camera here. We're going to zoom in on the Virtuoso. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit. There's a couple features. Ooh, that's very nice. The thing about the Virtuoso is you never play a wrong note. It never plays a wrong note, and it'll make you sound great. So if we do the all day, all night Mary Ann, you'll understand what I was just saying, which is pretty easy. So here we are. There's another great thing you can do with the Virtuoso, and that is I like to play bluegrass music. I'm from Polk County, and I love bluegrass, so whenever I do bluegrass, I like to play a little bit of the fiddle, and I like to use the glide, and I like to do a little bit of things. But what's really awesome is they give me fiddle right up here, so you see me do different things like this. I'll play a little bluegrass for you. Brian, get on in here on my fingers. And then I'll showcase the Virtuoso. And I call this, using the Virtuoso, with the hoedown. That's what we call that. So we're going to do a little hoedown, and you have to do it manually. But if you don't know how to do this, right, you can do it with your fingers. I'll show you. Here's a little country hoedown. All right, so that's another way you can use the Virtuoso. Everybody uses it different. You can use it as a country hoedown. You can use it as a little bloop, you know, so you have a part in a ballad that's really pretty. You just play the notes. Brian, go ahead and show the keyboard here. I'm going to explain to them what this thing can do here. All right, so whenever I play a chord, you play an arpeggio, so C, E, G, C, E, G, C, E, G, C, E, G, and it sounds like this. All right, so right up here, Boy, I was playing some chords there with Misty, and the Virtuoso plays all the right notes. So if you play a specific chord in your left hand, the Virtuoso will give you the right notes. And it will never, I promise you, never hit a wrong note. People get the instrument because it has a Virtuoso, and that's a great feature. Are there any questions so far? Maybe we can open up for questions for just about, a few seconds here. Any questions? If not, that's okay. That's okay. Any questions? No questions. Okay, good. We're moving right along here. So during my performance in a few minutes, you're going to see me using the Virtuoso. Another great thing is the styles. So every one of the styles here on the Legend, as you heard me play New York, New York, I was using a signature style. So what that means is that New York, New York, it starts with a very signature background. And as piano players, we know how to play it. And then you know how to play the other notes. And there it is. But if you have that signature style called New York Swing, you have on the intro, and that is signature to the song. Now let's say you wanted to play a song and you wanted to use New York Swing because you like that background, which, by the way, that's New York Swing. I can use that for multiple songs. I can play something like this. Once again, I was using a signature style called New York Swing. Well, that's for New York, New York. But I just played All of Me, and I just played Fly Me to the Moon. And because they're in the same genre of music, you can do that. So if you don't mind, Brian, we're going to zoom up over here. We have an option because of the memory and technology of this instrument that we can do intro 1. So I'm going to use New York Swing, intro 1, and that's New York, New York. There's no other song that goes with that background. One more time. That is New York, New York. You can see the ladies dancing in New York City. But if you want to use that background and play another song that Frank Sinatra did, like Fly Me to the Moon, you can use intro number 2. You see, that's the beautiful thing is now I don't even have one intro. I have 2 intros and endings. And if you use a minor, this is for you advanced students, if you use a minor chord, it gives you another one. So there's actually 4 intros and endings. Now, I'm using intro number 2 because I want to use New York Swing, but I want to play Fly Me to the Moon. So here it is. It's not New York Swing, it's just a Frank Sinatra background. Here we go. I don't want to take all the time to go over that song, but the whole thing is that I'm using New York Swing. But if I don't want to play New York, New York, you can use one of those what's called signature styles to use another intro. So you have 2 options. If you don't want to play New York, New York, you can use New York Swing for any one of those styles or one of those songs that Frank Sinatra is famous for. So here, let me go ahead and let Brian show you the screen. We're going to go up here to the TV here. We have it hooked up. So as you can see, every time that I hit a style, it shows you multiple different rhythms. We got a little glare there, and we might take care of that in just a second. But you might notice the one I'm going to select is this one right here. And then every single one of these blue buttons, zoom on down here if you will to the organ. All right, look at all these blue buttons. Those are all styles. Back to the screen. So if I go to Foxtrot, it says Sammy D. Candy Jr. So with a Legend, because of the memory and the upgrade of the technology, they have a touchscreen, they have a Virtuoso, but they also have something called signature styles. And all of the new styles on this instrument are located in the same spot on your rhythm. So I push Foxtrot, and up here it says Sammy D. Candy Jr. So this is what you get. There it is, Sammy D. Candy Jr. And if you know much about, maybe your parents told you about him, he was a very famous entertainer, and he came out with a song. What was the name of that song? Candy something. Candyman from Willy Wonka. Candyman, Sandy D. And here's the great thing. No matter which one of these blue buttons I go to, if I go to the next one that I'm going to use here, Latin. I love Latin music. But in the same spot on the screen, of course, we have Rumba Beijing. Most of you have all that already. Cha-cha-cha. Most of y'all have that one. Bolero, salsa. Get some chips with that. Latin big band. Then we have Parrot Buffet. Now, this isn't a buffet. We had somebody show up the other day. They were looking for Parrot Buffet. I've heard of people liking sushi, but not parrots. Anyway, this doesn't mean a buffet. This is Parrot Buffet. That's Jimmy Buffett. And if I go to intro 1 and just touch a chord, listen to what I get. It's a signature style to Jimmy Buffett, Margaritaville. All right. You ever been to the Key West? You got the seagulls right here. Yeah, I don't recommend eating a sandwich. They'll fly right down and take it. And then you got this seagull. That's sad. And then you can turn on surf and all kinds. Anyway, this is Lowrey Legend. It was the first organ that came out with a Virtuoso. It was the first organ that came out with signature styles. And what's great is no matter which one of the buttons you push, you have a signature style. Actually, you have multiple ones, but the new ones are all in the same spot. So everybody loves Christmas. And in Christmas time, if you've ever knocked out all your teeth, all you've ever wanted for Christmas is your 2 front teeth, and that comes from the Chipmunks. And this background is called the Chipmunks. And I'm not even going to have to play it. I just push intro 1. Listen now. And there they go. They go out of your organ. You got to feed your chipmunks. Tell your friends. So anyway, there's a lot of great things about this organ. The most important thing is the signature style that came out, and there's a couple of them that I want to play. Most of you guys remember the Spots of Ink. So they were a very famous group, and well, the name of the style is called Spots of Ink, and the name of the group is called the Ink Spots, but we couldn't call it Ink Spots because we wanted to stay in business and not break any copyright laws, right? So we called it Spots of Ink. But if I go to intro 1, you can hear your favorite group, the Ink Spots. All right, that was the Ink Spots. I played Stormy Weather because, as you know, with that group, you can play anything from the 50s, 60s, 40s, 50s, 60s, late 70s. So that's a great thing. So another great thing about this instrument here is we have something called, and I'm going to need you here, Brian. We might use the screen for this. So a lot of you understand, come on down to the organ, though. We're going to show 1 through 10 here. And a lot of you have this. Here's a Virtuoso. And then here's presets 1 through 10. We have categories. This instrument adds lots of categories. But then we have the most important part, 1 through 10. I'm sure if I asked for a raise of hands, how many of you use 1 through 10, you'd all raise your hands. And if you don't have 1 through 10, that's okay. You might have 1 through 8 or 1 through 5. Well, on this one here, you have what's called active preset display, which means if I go into a very simple background, let's do one called Strings 101. Everybody has that. Where the heck is it? There it is. And if I go to number 3 over here, it has an active preset display. So you can show it on the screen there, Brian. And it shows, first of all, with the technology, we don't have 1 through 10. We have 1 through 10 with an extra 0. And with the screen being shown, you can see what you're looking at, even though it's on a TV. This is what I see in the instrument. It's the same exact thing. So instead of seeing something, can we move, Brian? Can we go over here? So back before the Legend, we had instruments that had 1 through 10, as you can see. But as soon as we touched the active preset display, it showed a little more and pipe organ, and it showed things that didn't make easiest, organ sounds, ensemble. Well, heck, I'm on country. Let's go to country. It shows the same thing, so you don't know what's on 1 through 10. So with the technology now, we have the ability to show what's called active preset display. So you can show the window up there, Brian, because we have it on the TV. But it shows that number 0 is 101 strings on top with a slash, and the slash means violin. So there's 101 strings, and then on the bottom, I have violin. Well, let's say if you don't like that, or you like it and you want to use something new for the next preset, well, now you know what's on number 6. It's an incredible feature, and all this has to do is with technology and memory. before we didn't have the ability to show any of this stuff. It would just show you number 1 is easy, number 2 is more, number 3 is easiest, number 4 is strings. Well, what does that mean? Well, on this one it shows me octave strings, and oboe is number 4. And Brian, I'm gonna play a little song here called Misty, using these, and I can see which ones I want. So I think looking at them, I like them all. But for Misty, I'm gonna use I think I'm gonna use clarinet, saxophone, trumpet, sax section, and that's about it. I might change it, but we'll see. At least I know what I'm using. So here we go. An incredible feature, active preset display. So if I go into country, these will change. If I go into any other background, they'll change. But for right now, they're set, so I know what I'm using. So here we go. I'm going to start with number 9. I like number 9. You can see it's sax section. Oh, yeah. I used the second intro ending for that. And it's a very fast ending. The first intro ending is a little longer, and the second one is a little shorter. You'll learn that if you have them both, which means that for that one I wanted to use a shorter ending, so I used number 2. And if you're using a signature style, which you're about to get back to, then you have number 2 so that you can use that. I'm going to do a little bit of one called mixed swing. This is a very cool thing. And once again, up at my screen up there, Brian, the signature style on the Legend is always shown on the screen right here. Every now and then you'll have one up here. So Mr. Showman, that's Liberace. He's really fun. It's a great big band background. But mixed swing was a signature style from Mac the Knife. And you can keep it up there, Brian. I'll show a keyboard screen so they can see what I'm playing here. But anyway, so here we go. If I have one, I don't know. I think I have one. Maybe not. I didn't see keyboard, did you? I didn't see it. All right, so we'll come on back down. I'm going to use one called Mixed Swing. Intro number 1, preset 0, and which I can see in my active preset. It gives me Lenny D. It's called D organ. So here we go. That is way cool because it's Lenny D sound on Mac the Knife. Now, we have a feature on this. Many of you have, especially if you have a Stardust, you have this. But it doesn't matter. With a background that's a signature style, if you have alter style, you can bring in all the hits. You know, that's the point of the music. The reason you buy a record is because you like the music. And at the end of the song, you know, they add the girls and they come out and they start kicking their legs, and it's a big ending. Or the big bands that have all the horn hits and things like that. So alter style brings that in. So if I go to mixed swing and I use just a regular mixed swing, I have a very simple little Mac the Knife here. I'm sorry, I can go into alter style the next time I go around, and it sounds like this. It's a signature style with not only the right sounds, and I can change my sounds by seeing what they are, but also I can go into alter style, and it sounds like this. Take a listen. Again, I'm just using a one-finger chord and a one-finger melody, and take a listen to this. To that says, "Look out, Mac is back." And there's the band right there, little Virtuoso. There we are. Boy, oh boy, you can do a lot of things with that Virtuoso. Did I show the train already, Brian? I don't remember. Did I show the train? Okay, good. And so the Virtuoso is a great feature. The most important thing about the Legend, and this is the first instrument that came out with these features. This is the first instrument that came out with a feature Virtuoso. This is the first instrument that came out with a feature USB. Right over here, my cameraman has left me, so I'll take the camera. Right over on the end here, we have a USB stick. You can see it right there. Okay, there it is. And that's where you put your stick. So you can do so many things. You can record your music. You can save your presets. You can do many things with a USB stick. And this is the first organ. And the best thing about the Legend is the price point, because the Legend was the first one that came out with all this stuff. And it's actually, to be honest with you, it's been replaced a couple times with some other models. But for the bang for the buck, every single one of the signature styles is in here. So another one I'm going to play real quick. We're going to make it a little bit smooth here. We're going to play some Johnny Chances. Well, I look at that rhythm and I think Johnny Chances, well, that's a song called Chances Are. And it's another signature style, and it's located right underneath one of these rhythm styles, and it's located right where all the other signature styles are. And here we go, a little Johnny Chances. Wow. Well, that is another signature style called Johnny Chance's. And I think my time has come. I thank you, everybody, for being on today. But once again, Brian, if you don't mind running the camera here, we're going to talk a little bit cosmetically. First of all, if you want to zoom in on this side, Brian, we have a musical recorder. You can record yourself onto the stick. It's a great, great feature. We have speakers. Oh my gosh, there's a speaker right here, and there's a speaker on the other side because I don't have ears on my knees, they're on my head. So whenever you have sound coming to the bench, this is the best seat right here in the whole house to be able to play. So for those of you who have a husband or wife and they say you're playing too loud, well, now that's not a problem because you can turn the organ down and still hear your sound through what we call monitor speakers. And they came out with that. The wood quality on this, I'm looking at it, Brian. This is beautiful stuff here. Wow. That's very nice. We have a Virtuoso. You can do lots of things with that, which you saw me use a couple different times. And believe me, if I'm playing a concert, I use it all the time. So I'm not sure if we want to do an announcement and then have me do a finale. But I have a finale number, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my boss and our vice president and national sales manager and the guy who everybody should be thanking for all this technology, Mr. Robert Roman. Mr. Robert Roman, how are you today?
Good. How are you? Let's give a big round of applause, a virtual. Thank you for joining us today. We hope Jason did a good job. Did you do a good job, Mary?
He did.
Yes?
Yes, he did. Yes.
Okay. How about you, Grace?
Yes, he did.
All right. Well, I always say if everybody buys an organ, then he did a great job. Anyway, as he's getting set up there, getting ready to play his finale, I want to say thank you for coming on. Hopefully I'll see you this Friday. I'm going to be doing the Zoom musical this week. And I'm practicing my Mary Ann rendition along with a few others. You know, I got a great concert planned for everyone. It'll be the first time I get to do an official one and for a while too. So also I want to also mention that if you notice the organ that he's playing on today, let me spotlight it there. Well, there's sort of part of it. Can we get the camera over there? Brian, angle it more on the organ. Maybe not. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. That's really the star of the show today. It's beautiful Lowrey Legend. I don't know if you were on the Zoom musical last Friday, but we mentioned last Friday that we had 4 instruments that were spotlighted. There was the Journey, the Inspire, the Freedom 3, and of course our beautiful Lowrey Legend. And there was the reason for that is we decided to highlight and show off 4 models that has always represented the best values over the years. The Legend, actually, when the Legend first came out, we introduced it. The theme of the show was Legend Has It, the Legend Has It. And what we meant by that is it had all of these great features that the top of the line model like the Prestige had. What we decided to do with these 4 models, particularly the Legend, is rather than doing your traditional sale, 4th of July sale that we were going to do on all the models we had in stock, we decided to take all of our discounts and put them into 4 different models and give more discount in less models, which means the discounts were increased. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is to reach out to your staff members and find out, because I'm going to tell you, this will be one of these cases. And I told the staff members, I'm going to be very assertive and aggressive in the discounts. And I'm going to make the first few people on the Legend, whoever purchases one of those, very, very, very happy. We're not going to give it to you, but it's going to feel like we were giving it to you. That's how good it's going to be. So I'm going to leave you with that, and I'm going to ask you to at least speak to your personal assistant staff members to find out what we've been doing, particularly on the Legends. So with that said, I'm going to turn it back over to Jason.
All right. You know, the reality is there is so much on this instrument I can show. And I only have so much time. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, look at this thing. There's so much I can show. But to be honest with you, the most important thing is that the beautiful music that comes from this. So you have the top of the line sound from the first instrument that came out with a USB stick, touchscreen, signature styles, and many, many categories of sounds that you heard today. I'm going to go ahead and end it with another signature style called Epic Movie. This can be used for any of your movie themes. Disney music is what I like the most with it. So please enjoy the sounds of the Lowrey Legend. And I'm so happy that you came on today. Please make sure you tune in for our classes, which are Wednesdays and Thursdays at 2 o'clock. And then we have a concert coming up Friday at 2 o'clock. So thank you so much, everybody, for getting on. And here's my last song and number using a Broadway style called Epic Movie. This is, I tell you what, I played on the aria using Epic Movie. This is a top-of-the-line style. Here we go.
Jason, everybody. Big round of applause.
Woohoo!
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Lowry Legend, everybody.
Thank
Using
you
the
very much.
Epic Movie background. Thanks for being on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.